Welcome to workshop number 1 of 2018. Larry Wilk. I teach corporate entrepreneurship and media and entertainment here at the Mirage School. I retired from Disney 4 years ago after 26 years of being a corporate entrepreneur. So you'll see some of my examples are Disney, and I apologize for that. Okay. So quick agenda. Between now and 6:30, I'll take you through a couple tools and frameworks and examples of the business model canvas. Then we'll do some quick 30-second pitches. Teams looking for other members or people looking to join a team. We have 14 people signed up. And then from 6:45 to 8 o'clock or whenever, we'll have networking outside, and you can look for people and match your badges, and we'll talk about that at the end. Good? So first, just a quick review. The competition this year is structured into 5 tracks. So consumer products, consumer services, business products and services, life sciences, and then new this year is a social enterprise track on its own. We did it that way so that social enterprise is a little different business model, and it was hard for those teams to compete against the for-profit tracks. The last thing, we have a horizontal track, Tech Surge, and Tech Surge is using UCI intellectual property, and there's a special workshop on the 17th to introduce that concept for those of you that want to do Tech Surge also, so it runs across all the tracks. I'm a rules guy, so just a couple of the rules for what you do submit in your concept paper. It's got to be an original idea. Don't submit Uber. It's been done. And the idea needs to be January 17 or later. And haven't received funding. It's open to all of UCI. We do ask that you have at least 2 members registered at UCI on your team. So kind of where we are, next steps. So tonight is about forming a team, brainstorming a solution. Once you have your solution, you'll pick your track, and then the next deliverable will be the concept paper on February 21st. That concept paper is just a 3-page document that you'll submit online, and it covers all these areas, which on January 24th, we have a workshop specifically to talk about the concept paper. But what you'll hear tonight is how what we do in the business model canvas then informs the concept paper that you produce. Then the concept paper goes through judging, and those teams that are selected will do a full pitch deck for presentation in May. But first, let's talk about developing an idea. First thing you need is an idea and transform it into a business model. So we'll start with the bad news. 75% of all startups fail. But on the flip side, 25% of all startups succeed. But the reason, number one reason, is no market need. You developed a product that nobody wanted. So I was watching Shark Tank last night, and there was an entrepreneur who came out with a stroller that he combined with an elliptical trainer. That the idea was the mom was running on the elliptical trainer, and he spent $200,000 in developing this elliptical stroller. And he was asking $500,000 in funding. But the first thing I try to do is lift it up. It's very heavy, and they said, what if the mom wants to take it to the park? He hadn't talked to anyone about his idea, and naturally didn't get funding. So a lot about what we'll talk about today is there are ideas, but then you have to have a business model, and you have to have something that someone wants to buy. And I'm sure we all have other examples of items that there is no market need for. We also see no business model. like saying we'll give it away for free, we'll build up a large network of users, and then we'll sell to Google. That's not a business model. That's just a hope. Okay, so the first thing, there's a concept that Clayton Christensen developed, which is called know your customer's job to be done. What is it that you are hiring the product to do? Tonight, you are hiring the new venture competition team to help you start your concept paper. That's what you're hiring us to do. Where the jobs to be done concept came from is Clayton's firm was hired to increase the sales of milkshakes for a fast food chain. And they observed that they sold a lot of milkshakes at lunch. Fine, lunch goes along with their meal. But then they also noticed people were stopping at 8 o'clock in the morning to get a milkshake. And then they were coming back with their kids at 3 o'clock to get a milkshake. And they couldn't figure out why would people get a milkshake at 8 o'clock? Anyone? So what they found out is these people had a long commute, and they wanted something in their car that would last about 45 minutes and give them a little bit of sugar jolt for 45 minutes. A donut would be too quick. So they were hiring the milkshake to take up the 45 minutes of their commute. And so they sold more milkshakes by thinking about how to make a milkshake that actually lasts longer. Then they researched the 3 o'clock milkshake experience, and that was fathers taking their kids to spoil them and say, you know, you've been a good kid, let me buy you a milkshake. So the idea is the context is different, and they were understanding the jobs that either the commuter or the parent was trying to do. So again, the progress a customer is trying to make in a particular circumstance. The other part of the theory is that correlation is not causation, meaning statistics will tell you what is happening, but they won't tell you why it's happening. So let me give you an example. So we did a project at Disneyland. We were looking at intent to return and intent to recommend. And if you get a top score of 5, they're 20% more likely to come back to the park. And the numbers were going down. So we did research, and what the research said to us initially is the lines are too long and we didn't have enough attractions. But when we drilled down and we looked at the specific context, we found that families with kids under 8, the key driver of their satisfaction, the key job they were trying to do was to make memories in the park. And the most important driver of making memories was, did they see the character they intended to see? So if they're under 8, the most important thing is if they wanted to see Cinderella, did they see Cinderella? So the reason I put this picture up here is I was running costuming at the time. So we did our whole character program, and we ensured that if someone wanted to see their character, they would have that experience. And our scores went up. So we didn't have to build a new e-attraction. We just ensured that we were fulfilling the job of making memories, and that for the under 8 set was about seeing a new character. So let's talk about how you apply this in your world. There's 4 principles. First, don't think about it as a task, but it's the entire experience. You weren't getting a picture with a character, you were making memories of your whole day at Disneyland. And if any one element of that day was bad, couldn't get in the parking structure, you probably had a bad experience and didn't make a good memory. So again, the circumstances are important. So when is your product being used? Who is using it? Not just it's, because knowing who it is, then you're going to know who to develop it for and who to sell it to. So good innovations also either solve a problem that had a poor solution or didn't, or this other solution was to not do anything. So in the case of the milkshake, the poor solution was a donut. And the no solution at all is to just go hungry and have your commute. In the case of Disneyland, the poor solution is going to another theme park or just staying home, which make memories of a different way. But then the fourth part is ensuring the powerful social and emotional dimensions underneath your product. So about making the connections with your kids is as important as a visit to the park. So I'll give you some more examples. So first, let's talk about creating customer experiences. So the example is American Girl. So as of a couple years ago, they sold $29 million and over $500 million in business before they were sold to Mattel. So what was it about American Girl dolls that made it unique? So the mother that invented the American Girl doll went to the store to buy a doll for her niece. She didn't want to buy her Barbie, and she didn't want to buy a Cabbage Patch. She wanted something more realistic, something that tied into their social and cultural background, and really couldn't find anything that did the job. So they developed dolls that enabled a conversation between the mother and the daughter to talk about their heritage. And then they had the overlapping experience at going to an American Girl store. You know, they have the doll first aid station. You can have tea with your doll. The unwrapping experience is rather unique. Disney, Mattel, other companies have all tried to copy American Doll, but they missed the overall experience, and they missed the design connection. They missed the social and the emotional connection. So here the job was about making a connection, not providing a doll to play with. So the next part of designing a good job to be done is aligning the processes that support your product or service. So here's a good example, especially as we're talking about UCI, so I don't mean anything by this, but so Southern New Hampshire University. Has anyone heard of Southern New Hampshire University? Probably not. But they have a $500 million online degree program. In a time when most degree programs are free, they've developed a $500 million business. And the way they did that, one, the online program had been sort of in the corner neglected, so they looked at the context, and they found that online students were different than the traditional undergrad. So they're typically an older student who is working, who is looking to complete a degree, maybe get their credentials, and that ease and customer service are very important versus the on-campus life that many of you get in being a full or part-time student. The competition, like we said, the poor solution, or not getting that degree because it's too difficult. So their president decided they needed to change everything. So they changed hundreds of processes, but they decide what were the most important things. So one, how do you help your customers make progress? And in the case of getting that degree, a lot of the students needed financial aid. It used to take weeks to get the answer. They could give the answer in 8.5 minutes. You send an email, I'm interested in getting a degree at Southern New Hampshire. 8.5 minutes later, they call you on the phone and they give you an answer. Yes, you qualify, no, you don't. So they've eliminated the first barrier. So then additional obstacles. So one of the obstacles was, how do I get my transcript? So they had a team that would actually get your transcript for you. It's like, we'll do the legwork. So again, now you apply and they gave you the decision a couple days later. So you're still thinking about it, you're still motivated, boom, they got right back to you. And then the social and emotional, they assigned teachers to watch how people were progressing. Because most online classes, people don't finish. I know I've started many that don't finish. So they had advisors that watched the progress of the students. And if they were falling behind, they reached out to them. They called them and said, what's wrong? Do you need a tutor? Do you not understand? So ultimately, they got a completion rate 50%, which is much higher than most online programs, and Net Promoter Score 9.6 out of 10, which exceeds just about every Fortune 500 company. So how do you find these jobs to be done? So again, it could be something that comes from your own experience. You went out shopping for a doll, you didn't find anything that represented what you believe in. Or you just look for things that people aren't doing. You know, again, that the online degrees, Southern New Hampshire, people weren't completing their degrees because it was too difficult. Or you got workarounds. That, example is Quicken saw small business owners were using it to do their taxes. So they bought TurboTax and came out with like a small business version. So they took advantage of the workarounds. Or you find tasks that people want to avoid. People don't like to go to the doctor. So minute clinics came up to make it easier for you. Like if you need to get a flu shot, you don't have to go to the doctor, you just go to CVS. Or new uses for existing products. I like this one. So NyQuil puts you to sleep when you have a cold. The consumer products company heard people were doing that, so they came out with ZQuil, which is just, you don't have to be cold, it's just if you want to go to sleep, now you take ZQuil. So it's a new use for an existing product. Now let me kind of finish this section with an example from yesterday. I was at Century City up in LA, and in the mall, I walked by and there's this sign for Forward, the future of health. And I walked in and I said, I teach entrepreneurship, what is this? She said, we're the future of visiting the doctor. And so I don't know if you see, this here is a sensor that you walk in. So before you see the doctor, you go here, and if you're a patient, it takes your weight, your blood pressure, all these measurements. You wait an average of 2 minutes to go see the doctor. They have this great screen that all your records are up, but what they have is integrated care. They've made it convenient by putting it in a shopping center. Everything is scheduled. You wait an average of 2 minutes to see the doctor. Because you've prepaid, you spend 60 minutes with the doctor versus the average 5 minutes. So I'm listening to this, and it's like, this sounds pretty remarkable. And they give me all the examples. They do genetic testing. They do all these things. And they just ask, what do you think we charge for this? I'm thinking $2,000, $3,000 a month, unlimited visits, 24/7 medical care on call. If you need a prescription, they'll drive it to your house. If you need a blood test, they'll do it right there, get it back in 12 minutes. Okay, it's $149 a month. Now, they only have 2 of them. It's very interesting, but they're totally disrupting the idea of a doctor visit. They've eliminated, so the process, they're using technology. They give you sensors to take home that integrate into their system. So they're tracking your blood pressure. If you're pre-diabetic, they're tracking your glucose. So the job to be done for them isn't to make you better if you get sick, it's to prevent you from getting ill in the first place. So I wish them well, and if they were not in Century City, I might be a client. Okay, so this is a workshop, this isn't a lecture. So we want you to do for the next, let's say 10 minutes, if you have a team or just in groups, if you have an idea, think about it with the lens of jobs to be done. If you don't have an idea, take a product or a service and put this lens to it. So talk about it for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and talk about business model canvas. So any questions, or you kind of understand? And so here kind of the question you can think about, but try to put the jobs lens on your idea. There's an undergraduate course in lean startups, and we teach it in the graduate program. So we're going to do a course in 3 minutes. More like 15. But so the classic way to start a business, in the past, you write a business plan, you build a team, you introduce the product, and you sell it. 1987, I wrote the business plan for the Disney stores. It took me 5 weeks to write the plan. It was about 40 pages long. It had a 5-year plan in it. It said we would go from 1 to 100 stores. By the time we were done, we had 775 stores. So the plan was just an idea. We spent a lot of time. The idea in a startup is we didn't know what was going to happen. We had 1 store at the time. How can I project what's going to happen 5 years from today? So instead, now the idea of the business model canvas is really to sketch out the hypotheses of your business. What do you believe will happen in 9 different areas? So again, how you create, deliver, and capture value. A business model is different from a product because it includes all elements of the process, not just the product itself. Who's going to make it? How are you going to sell it? Who are you selling it to? It's not just the product. So these are the 9 categories in the business model canvas. And I'll tell you the book that this comes from. It's Strategizer, Business Model Canvas Generation. It's a classic book that's used by everyone. And so we're going to use it here too, because again, it's what we teach in the classes, so it's consistency. And I'll take you through each one of these boxes in a minute. But here's an example. So Tesla. So we're able to distill the Tesla business plan into 1 page. So the first thing, the customer segment, environmentally friendly, safety conscious, high earning. You know, they started with the Roadster. They used the money for the Roadster to then fund the Model S. They use that money to fund the X, and now they're using the deposits to fund the Model 3. They talked about the channels. They're going to go direct. They're not going through dealers. Talked about the customer relationships, how they're going to manage that. They have owner representatives. You don't have salespeople. They've got their own service. They don't outsource the service. They make, I think, 75% of the parts they make at the Tesla factory. But so right here is how it works. So on 1 page, you see the Tesla business plan. So when you start your own business model canvas, we suggest you start on the right side. Start with a value proposition, who the customer is, what the channels are. And then here's some of the questions you want to ask. And all this will be posted, by the way, on the website, so you obviously don't have to make numbers. But just, what's the job to be done? What's the value proposition? That's why we did that first exercise. Who are my customers? And don't say everyone. And we'll talk about that in a minute. How are we going to have relationships? Is it online-only sales? Are we going to go through Amazon? Are we, if business to business, are we going through distributors or through salespeople? And then kind of customer channels. How are you going to market to them? Another part of the business model canvas, it's its own book, but this takes the jobs to be done framework and puts it into this idea of the value proposition canvas, where here you have your pains that the customer is going through, the gains that your product might deliver to them, the jobs to be done, and then over on this side is how your product either creates gain or relieves pain, and what that actually is. So it's just an easy way to represent it. When you actually do this exercise, we use blown up charts and Post-its. And you just kind of move things around. But it's all trying to think of, what are we offering? Now when we know what we're offering, now you kind of talk about the supply chain, the manufacturing, the production. So the first thing are the key activities. What do you need to do best for this product to be successful? And especially in a startup, you only want to do what you need to do and try to outsource as much else. Like when you're first starting out, you probably don't need an accountant. My wife would kill me, the CPA, but you know, you use Quicken to start out because there's 2 of you and don't have a lot of money. Don't hire a full-time accountant. You're probably going to use Amazon for warehousing and UPS for shipping. But one day, you're a $300 million startup out of Shark Tank, then you'll do it yourself. So key partners is important. Who are you going to partner with? Again, you saw in that Tesla model that the key partner for them were charging locations. But everything else they're going to do in-house. And then you would also add banks, because they don't finance the cars themselves. So again, here's some of the questions here. What do you need to perform well to be successful? You know, what does the customer identify? What key resources? And then the partnerships. And what's the risk of a partner? If your key product is coming from a partner and they don't ship, you're out of business. And then lastly, how are you going to make money? So the first part is, how do you make money? Is it a freemium model with in-app purchases? Is it a subscription model? Is it just a flat-out purchase? Do you wholesale it? And then what are the key costs? So again, what's direct, what's indirect, what's a fixed cost? Is it going to cost you $250,000 to make the initial molds and then $1 per sample after? But so what you're starting to do here is really, you have the framework now for this business model. Now, for those of you in the social enterprise track, there's sort of a different version of the business model canvas. So buy-in and support, instead of kind of your customer segmentation and deployment, because you don't have sales channels, and then mission achievement and impact versus revenue, because you don't really look at social enterprise necessarily as having revenue. And now Ruth's going to talk through a specific example at Kiva, and she's the champion of the social enterprise track.
So I am the staff director at the Blum Center for Poverty Alleviation. We are sponsoring the social enterprise track this year. So in past years, you might have seen this as the Designing Solutions for Poverty, and now it is officially integrated with the BLE Venture Competition. So we are offering an award up to $10,000. So I would encourage you that if your idea, if your product or whatever, if your mission is just as important or more important than your profit focus, then I would encourage you to apply for our track. I just wanted to point out a few, and this is slightly different from the mission model that Larry showed the slide before, but I wanted to point out a few things that we are looking for in when we evaluate the proposals. So one is that you will see the revenue here. This is Kiva, which is the microloan organization. So you can see that they have optional donations and loans. So, and the percentages. So two-thirds of their operating expenses are actually funded through voluntary donations by Kiva lenders. So that is the loan. So they are quantifying that in terms of percentage. So two-thirds. The other third is optional donations, which is grants and donations from other foundations, etc. So that is something that we do want to see in the application. Think about your revenue stream. Think about like what percentage do you anticipate coming from a foundation versus private donors versus maybe you're actually selling part of your product. Another thing that I want to highlight is for key activities. So this is an example for microloans, but this could be also something like distributing a diagnostic device to low resource communities. So you can think about things in different ways. And the type of intervention, first of all, I think that you need to ask yourself the question, is there actually a need for this intervention? Is there actually this need in a low resource community that we're trying to help? And so in this way, it's a lot about partnering with community organizations, partnering with maybe spending some time in the community that you're trying to solve this problem with, rather than just imagining this is maybe a problem for some people in the third world. So having that in mind, this could be legal advice, for example, for those who can't afford it. It could be a diagnostic advice, so there's various types of interventions. And the value proposition, I think, is important. This is the same in the non-social enterprise model, but I think it's really important to highlight what you offer that others do not. Like, really take a look at what is out there. There's so many amazing organizations. What makes you different? What makes your product, your idea, your service different? I think that's really important. And then finally, entrepreneurs. So, for example, Kiva has a number of entrepreneurs, the amount of money lent, the amount of money repaid, and the number of dependents. And so, quantifying your impact in a way such as that is really helpful for us to take a look at when we're evaluating proposals. So that being said, oh, one more thing, surplus. So they use this, so we like to see where you're headed. So in the surplus section, or in this is kind of in between revenues and costs, we want to see where you're headed. So we do want to see like what your plan is for growth. Where is the extra money? What are you going to develop from there, from your initial idea? So that being said, we do encourage you to apply. If you have any questions, you can email plumcenter@uci.edu or come find either my colleague Ellen or I after the session.
Okay, so did they hand out a business model canvas as you walked in? All right, so what I would suggest in the interest, well, we have a choice. I'll put it that way. We can spend time and actually work on the business model canvas, or we can go on to the next section and you can start to work on it on your own. And then if there are questions, just email me, lwilk@uci.edu. Continue, or do you want to work on it? Okay. Lwilk, W-I-L-K. Milk with a W. Okay. And it's okay. And the other thing I would suggest, and this will be posted, this is your elevator version of your value proposition. Our product helps these customers who want to do X buy this and that, unlike this other service. So this will be very helpful, things like the networking tonight, or as we go through the competition, to be able to clearly and succinctly explain what it is you're trying to do will help you get teammates, get mentors, coaches, and eventually investors. And again, I took this out of, these are some of the books that we use. So and I'm sure they're in the library, but Business Model Generation, Startup Owner's Manual. So these go into great detail. Where you have a specific business model, a specific business idea, they show you examples of what the model looks like. And then also Megan did a PowerPoint, I believe, PowerPoint template, which will be posted separately. So if you want to use it on the computer, she's already created a version that you can just type in instead of making your own version. Okay, so now you've done the business model canvas, but all it is a bunch of guesses and hypotheses. Now you need to go out and validate what your idea is. Another Shark Tank idea that they had last night was an oven where you replace the knobs with this connected knob that connects with a smoke alarm. So if the smoke alarm goes off, it turns off the oven. Clever idea. But I think they need to take it to the next level, which is actually go talk to people. And often you don't get feedback, or back to our elliptical stroller. I don't know how much feedback he got from moms before he actually invested all that money. So you do a minimum viable product, you go talk to people, validate, and so we'll talk about that. So there's a book called Talking to Humans, which is free. I recommend that book. It's 87 pages. You'll see where it is. These cartoons come from that. So that first model is if you're developing a product for teenage girls, go talk to some. I can't tell you how many products I've heard people explain it sounds like a great idea. Did you actually go talk to any paying customers? So again, here's the book. And they talk about 5 steps. When you talk to the customers, who is it you want to learn from? What do you want to learn? How will you find them? How do you make sure it's an effective session? How do you make sense of what you learn? And this was, again, designed for engineers who didn't know exactly how to talk to humans. Not my statement, his statement. Okay, so like the next one, don't ask your grandmother. Like, I know not to ask my wife about technology ideas because she doesn't like technology. So they talk about the technology adoption curve, but the other danger is you'll only talk to innovators. So I talked about that Forward Medical Clinic. You know, I'm probably all gung-ho, but there's only a few of me. So you need to talk to early adopters and early majority to see if this thing is really going to scale, or you're going to sell it to 12 people that are really excited about it, and then it's going to die. And this is where the products die in that chasm between the really excited technology fans and broad adoption. So make sure you've got, you'll get input and insights from the innovators, but make sure you talk to the early majority and you talk to the people who are actually going to use your product. But then also talk to your partners and channel participants. If you have key partners you think, like let's say you're inventing something for pets. Well, go talk to a vet, and go talk to Petco, and go talk to dog owners. It sounds obvious, well, dog owners, but vets service. And if you're going to provide a service to vets that they recommend you to their customers, go talk to vets. And if you're going to sell through different channels, if you're going to sell through Petco, go talk to them. Okay, then make sure you learn the right things. Like this example, that they're all, what do you think about the font color of the packaging? It's like, that's not really important right now. And so they have this checklist of kind of just what a great value proposition is. And then the last one we'll talk about here is, when do you know you've learned enough? 1,300 people said yes. Another model to think about is Kickstarter. Kickstarter is sort of guest feedback. If you get 400,000 people to buy your product, that's a good sign. If you don't reach funding, that's a bad sign. And so they have this card which kind of takes you through the learning process. I don't know why it changed the color. It wasn't black like that before, but you start with your hypothesis. This is what we believed. This is what we observed. This is what we learned. So this is what we're going to do. So it either validated our idea or we have to pivot. So I like to call this also, we started with no because, this won't work because, and we end with yes if. I will buy your product if you do the following. All right, so again, next steps. So we've kind of done the format team. You're going to do that in a couple minutes. Here's how the business model canvas and the concept paper, it's really kind of a little bit, so the icons match. But the whole idea is the work that you will do on the business model canvas then does influence your concept paper. So before you write out longhand 3 or 4 pages over and over, just make sure you have the basic concepts nailed down. That's all I'm trying to say here. All right, some key dates. So on the 17th, Text Surge Mixer over at the Cove. So if you're interested in Text Surge, you're leveraging UCI IP, go to the Cove on the 17th. On the 24th, we've got the writing a concept paper workshop. Is it here, Megan? So back here. So now we're going to tell you how to actually take your business model canvas and convert that into a concept paper. We'll talk to you about the judging criteria for that concept paper, and we'll reinforce that it's due February 21st. So you turn in your concept paper on the 21st, and then we come back on the 7th, and you'll hear which teams move on to the finals. Last year, I believe we had about 98 concept papers, and 49 or 50 teams went through to the next round. So about half the teams. Yes?
When you say choose your track,
Yeah.
what you're doing calls into choose, you literally have to choose your track?
Yes. When you submit your concept paper, you must select one of the 5 tracks.
Will someone be available to discuss the number of people that tend to apply to those tracks and which one might be better for that?
Yeah, it's not like the Golden Globes where you can declare you're a drama or a comedy. Hopefully the product itself will determine. Yeah. So especially the Entrepreneur Center, David Ochi and his team, they're available all the time to go in and say, here's my idea. The reason we put in the social enterprise track is because there was some prior concern that when we had a team, I was on the consumer products judging track, we had a team that was drilling a well in Africa, competing with a team that had done a neurological cap to work on autism, I believe. And you can't evaluate them. We didn't have the skills to evaluate. So it's about being in the right track for your product, but David Ochi and his team can provide that advice. Once the concept papers are selected, you can join. If, let's say, your idea doesn't make it through, you're free to join another team. The teams can change after the concept paper phase, so you're not locked in. Then we'll come back in the second part, and we talk about how to develop your pitch, how to deliver your pitch, and how to prepare for the Q&A session. Because you do a 10 to 12 minute session in the final pitch, which is on May 18th. Okay? So now we want to give Rahema, there you are, guys. Give opportunity to do some quick pitches.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Brisky. I am the Marco Polo of data science. And my team at Firmative believes that nothing is greater in business than to crush your competition, to see the executives tremble before you, to seize their market share, and to see the lamentation or hear it of their product managers. But we also believe that before all of that, before conquest comes exploration. And that's where people spend most of their time in every company today. Some boss swings in like an albatross and says, hey, business leader, what's the market size of this particular segment? We need to go there. Upper management needs to know. You've got 2 days, go figure it out. And so they have 2 options. Either they go into the realm of market research where they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or consulting to go figure out and pull together all this disparate information to come up with what you guys are going to do in a concept paper. Or what you guys are probably going to do, if you can't get through the Mirage Business Library, is go to Google dumpster diving, trying to find all this information, put it together. What my team has come up with so far is figuring out how to digitize the competitive frameworks that you guys are learning in classes. So that like TurboTax, you can literally in 9 clicks go through and answer some of these very important, critical, strategic questions. What does that mean? It means that the day in the life of is dramatically different when someone gets these ad hoc requests from their management. They're able to go through, find the answers, get it on a PowerPoint slide in the 9 clicks, and be gone about their day. And there you go. So again, our team is Firmative. My name is Brian Brisky, and I'm going to be around. So if you guys can find me online, use UCI email or whatever. You guys, I think we have a Google Doc. Is that how everybody's finding everyone?
Yeah, there's a Qualtrics form you guys will fill out, and we'll put it up on your table. And there's a read-only link that'll put that where you guys can go access.
Awesome. So if you consider yourself an explorer like a Marco Polo or any other of the great people in the past, Lewis and Clark, that's who we are. Come join us. We need your help. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro De Leon, and I'm doing a startup application that's going to be called SoundShare. So it's basically about sharing music in real time. So basically, the application is going to create a virtual music room that people can join with a code just like Kahoot, if you've ever played the game. So you'll be able to create a group. You'll be the administrator. You'll be able to give people the admin or moderator icon that will allow them to pick songs, to be able to forward, skip, pick a new song, and so on. And so basically, the point of this is so that you can share music instantly and be able to value your connection with your friends. So if it's very personalized, and we're going to be trying to do this with Spotify, and so, or Apple Music. And so I recently sent out a Google survey this past Wednesday. My goal was 100 people to take the survey by Saturday. I got it in 8 hours, and it got 188 responses. So we're looking for a program developer, and I'll be doing the marketing side of things. So we're basically just trying to develop this app, and we're gonna try to do a test run through UCI communities. And so if you would like to speak to me outside, I'll be out for a while. And so basically we're trying to connect people through music. And I think everyone here listens to music on a daily basis, and I think it's very valuable to everyone. So if you would like to join SoundShare, go ahead and talk to us outside. Thank you.
Good. Let's keep it to 1 minute so we can get through everybody, your name, your idea, or your specialty, and what you're looking for. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jyoti Pradhan. I'm a FEMBA 18, and I'm here to pitch about my business, Celebrate in a Snap. Celebrate in a Snap gives you customized gifting options that are user-friendly, eco-friendly, and budget-friendly. If you are looking for a challenge to do some out-of-box thinking and have a lot of fun, then I invite you to join the team Celebrate in a Snap. You can look me up on the Facebook. We already have a website there. If you like any of the products, we do accept PayPal and Venmo. We also have Instagram to see what we have done so far, #CIAS. And if you're watching, you want to call me, my number is 949-870-5964. Thank you.
All right, well, my name is Ayush Sahai, and I'm an MSBTM 18. I want to talk about Jennifer. Jennifer is a person who suffers from a rare genetic disorder. Doctors have said, no, we can't treat you. There is no available treatment. There is no drug in the world that works. Luckily for Jennifer, she has an app on her phone where she can go to. It's a platform. It's a network where she can register for clinical trials. Maybe there's a new drug in the market that she can apply to. Maybe people can save her. She can talk with doctors, clinicians, physicians, and they can help her figure out what is the best course of treatment for her. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Aola, the world's first digital platform for clinical trials and data management. We assess patients, we assess normal people, we collect some data like your blood pressure, your weight, etc. We use that data, and then we match you up with a clinical study group within the US locally, so that you can have the best affordable care that you deserve. Thank you so much. I'll be available.
Hi everyone, my name is Nemo. So WeChat is right now the most popular social media in China right now. Billions of people are using it because it's simple and it's powerful to share information. So being a student at UC Irvine, I find it's very difficult to find information I need through Gmail, the incoming boxes. So inspired by WeChat operation system, I want to build an app that can research campus resources, manage them, and sorting out into different categories, and then distributing them in a way that is very useful and beautifully designed to all college students. And we are looking for programmers to set up the mobile app and also the WeChat mini program. And please talk to me if you're interested in this project. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Jackson Wickman, and I'm here to talk to you about Wing. Wing is basically, it's going to be the next service app. So you have Uber and you have Lyft when you want to ride, but what do you do if you need somebody to buy you roses? Or what do you do if you need somebody to mow your backyard? All these tasks they're tough to get somebody to fulfill them for you, and that's where we come in. We're an app based off of artificial intelligence that allows you to type in something and it gives you a price instantly, unlike any other application out there on the market right now. All right, I'll be outside after this, and so will Karan there in the back if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Hideshi from Japan, and I'm a first year MBA student. I have two ideas, like this. Yeah, first one is related to the restaurant menu application, which compatible with Instagram or apps. The other one is a platform which combines kids who has dreams and someone who achieves the dreams. I need teammates who refine these ideas and who develop these services. I will be in the mix, so if you are interested in me and my ideas, please let me know. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam, and I am a 5th year in grad school. So if I was ever your physics TA, then I am sorry about that. So part of my research has been to develop a new type of microscope, part of which involved lens design. So let me tell you about my team, Camber Case. It's a lightweight lens system used to either boost the zoom or increase the field of view of the camera on your phone. So I'm looking for up to 4 teammates who are hardworking, enthusiastic, and dedicated to, help us, take over this new venture competition challenge. I will be outside, so if you're interested in joining Camber Case, let me know. Thanks.
Hi there. So my name is Chen. So we are with the increase of the demand of the software design. The solar design software. So wait. Okay, let's go. Yep. Sorry. So with the opening of the renewable energy, the increase of the demand of large-scale solar system design, we are here to present our web-based solar system design software. In the current market, there was no such a software that is able to automatically design solar system for 100 buildings with just fewer click of mouse to quick achieve a large district level solar system design. Such as microgrid design and modeling, which would be our most attractive future to achieve a more sustainable society. And also, our software was connect to the installer and the public, which is easier and faster for them, for the customer and also the installer. We will be out there, and if you guys have any interest, just tell us. Anyway, thanks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin. So I'm really happy to stand here to talk with you guys. So before I talk about our product, I want to talk about a story about mine. I come from a really poor area of China. It's in the western north of China called Xinjiang. So in Xinjiang, there is a minority nationality called the Uyghur, and they are kind of like lack of the educations, so they're really ignorant. And several years ago, my uncle was a middle school teacher, and he had a dream which was to eliminate ignorance, especially eliminate the ignorance of those Uyghur people, so that they can have the better lives in the future, because education is the most important. Is one of the most important things for of the people now. So I still remember 5 years ago, he went to the south part of the Xinjiang province, but he was killed at that time because of some political problems in the south part of the Xinjiang, and after that incident, I just realized one of the one of the really important things, which was to give those people some educations to limit the ignorance, so that they can know what they are doing, what's wrong. Yeah, and so I want to start a social enterprise business, which was to start an online educational platform. So in this platform, the users can go through the free online educational resources, like like students and teachers. They can record the videos and upload these videos into our online educational platform, so that all the people who have the computers, smartphones, can go through our online educational platform and preview of the educational resources. At the same time, people also can upload the books, like the free PDF books, to our website. So that people can go through these books and the educational resources on our website. So this is our basic business model and plan. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing the experience. I'm from China as well, so I feel like that empathized with me, and my pitch is only 30 seconds. Hi, I'm Cher. I'm a fourth-year computer science major at UCI. So according to IBM, over 50% of leisure travelers spend over 3 hours to plan their trip online. At Plan a Trip, we leverage the power of artificial intelligence and open data platform to plan a unique trip instantaneously based on each user's interests. I'm looking for developers and finance managers, and our mission is to make travel planning fun and hassle-free. So if you're passionate about traveling, come talk to me and see how we can revolutionize the travel industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Check. Hi, my name is Bo Darapan, and I'm here to talk about immigration and sexual assaults today, something that we all have been facing or know somebody who have faced it. Personally, I am an undocumented immigrant from Thailand. I'm just come out right now, and then this is actually my sole inspiration to doing this project. Every time when I drive somewhere or when I see a random checkpoint, my heart starts beating for a second. I think that might be it. This might be my last day in the U.S., place where I've grown up for so long. And why do I think this? Is because I have friends who their fathers have been deported just because of broken headlights and just for encountering with officials. So, and not just that, I want to show some statistics as well. There's 11.2 million undocumented immigrants, so there's a lot of people you all can help out. And according to statistic online, 1 in 6 women have been sexually assaulted in the US, and that's unacceptable for this country to have gone through this kind of problem. So my app is called Contingency. What this app would do is that every time you face an emergency situation or a situation where you can be at harm, you can press this one button, and this button will have your message that you have already recorded, or we have like pre-created for y'all to send it to 5 of the most people you trusted and share your location or what situation or circumstance that you are going in. And in addition to that, it would also have, I plan to collaborate with nonprofit organizations who help these groups of people and have the resources and number and pro bono lawyers and so on, whatever kind of resources that they would need. And why am I cool for this? Or why am I eligible for this? I'm also an artist, an activist, and a public speaker. Y'all can find me on The Hill, MSNBC, and BuzzFeed. Just look up Bo Darapan. And I really think this is a low cost and a high impact business. It's not even a business, it's a social enterprise, to be completely honest with y'all. So if you're looking to make a difference, then just come talk to me. I'll be sitting right there. Second row. Thank you. Sorry I took a little bit longer.
Hi, everybody. My name is Zarina Bahadur. I'm a second-year political science major. So how many of you guys always have trouble trying to find where to eat? Yeah, a lot of you, right? And you guys go to the same restaurants, you guys probably even order the same thing. No, not anymore. I'm looking to create an app that's a food app that helps people find where to eat. Kind of like Instagram, but all for food. And I know there's a bunch of foodies out there, especially in Southern California. I'm originally from Tennessee, and I know when I moved out here, I had so much trouble like trying to find where to eat, you know? So I'm looking to create this app. Right now there's just Yelp, and when you go on Yelp, it's just random people's reviews. So I'm looking to create this app to help people find food in their area, see what their friends are eating, and just try new things. So what I'm looking for is tech developers, coders, anyone who's good in that area, because I'm not, and anyone who's just interested. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Last but not the least, I'm Manish. I'm at FIMBA 19. How many of you buy a product and decide not to keep it after 20 days, 30 days, a month? Many of you, right? There you go. And how many of you keep a receipt of that product to be able to return it? You lose it, right? There you go. And not all retailers are like Costco, where you can walk in and return it 2 years, 5 years. I know people from 7 years returning the product without the receipts and getting a full refund. My idea is about building a platform where you can walk into any retailer and be able to pull a receipt and be able to get the product returned any number of days. You own the receipt, you get to keep it. How does it work? The idea behind is every retailer, when you walk in, at the point of sale, today they already accept, Apple Pay kind of a concept. The concept is pretty similar. You scan the QR code, or the transaction details into your app or into your the smartphone or whatever device that you carry, which pushes the information from the retailer into your phone. The retailer gets to not print your receipt because you can have a soft copy in your system. So he takes an advantage of not printing receipts and saving some money right there. And you get to receive this receipt of yours in a soft copy, which you can keep it in your phone and save it in your cloud or however you want it. Now, you can use the same product across various retailers. That's the key thing. So you have everything in one-stop shop, one place, just a click of a search. Okay, I got diapers because I've got 2-year-old daughter, a 9-month-old baby. So let's say I'm buying diapers. I can search diapers and it will tell me what all stores I purchased diaper for. And if I move into Target, I exactly know, pull the Target receipt, scan it, return it, move on from there. So there's a lot of advantages out of it. You can build data analytics out of it, sell it back to the retailers, or you can yourself know how much you're spending on diapers every month, year, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of potential in this. So if you are, want to be part of this journey and you can be a collaborator and partner, I'm looking for those great minds out here. Please come see me and we can build this into a reality. Thank you.
So as they say at Warner Brothers, that's all, folks. So go network, go meet the teams you just heard talk.